Well, hello, my friend. How should personal brand photography clients credit us when they use our images, or should they even credit us at all? This is actually something we're going to talk about today because it's different from what many industry leaders have taught in the past and are still teaching now, some of them. It's an old best practice to require people to give us credit when they use our images so that we can get some marketing miles out of it, so to speak. But with personal brand photography, this has changed, and there's a few things I want to touch on, and so that you don't turn clients away without meaning to. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that requiring our clients to credit us is going to turn away these commercial clients because we're there to help them make money. And I'll explain more about this in a minute. It's one of the big, like the 5 main deal breakers that I see people making that are turning away personal brand photography clients. But before I dive into all of that, I want you to know that this is part of our weekly series on the question of the week, which comes from our free personal brand photography group. If you are not yet part of the personal brand photography group, definitely join that right here. It's an awesome community of personal brand photographers, and yeah, we're going to be talking a lot, especially over the next few weeks, about how to get your business up and rolling again as your state or location opens up, what to do if it's not opening up for a while, all sorts of good things coming there as we are finishing up, hopefully finishing up. Who knows? It could be a long time. As we are moving forward with some places starting to open up the ability to shoot outside and things like that. So it's going to be a great place to keep up with all of that and move forward with all of that. Plus, it's just full of awesome people. So if you'd like me to answer your questions, pop them here at pbpcommunity.com, and we would love to do that. And basically, each week I pick a question from the group to do a live video about right here, noon Central Time on my page. So now, before we go deeper into this question, I want to have you take a moment to tell me, how do you see people giving you credit for your work? Maybe you don't require it. If you're doing personal brand photography and you've been around for a while, you know that that's kind of a big no-no. And I'll explain why if you aren't sure why in a moment. But how have you seen people actually credit you if they want to? We'll want to talk about that today. So, and if you're watching the replay, by the way, please feel free to drop hashtag replay down. I do come back and read the comments and respond to as many replies as I can. So don't be afraid to chime in. I'm here for you too, even if you couldn't be here live. Okay, so let me pop the question up. This question this week was from Christina Ebert. She says, do clients typically credit photographers on websites? My guess is no, but wondering if a client wanted to, where would be a good place to put something like that? Okay, so you're right, Christina, in that because we are doing personal brand photography, we should not be requiring them to do that. If you require people to credit you in any way at all, you're going to lose them as a personal brand photography client, okay? The reason is, you have to remember, we are here to help them make money, not to market ourselves. This is very different from the best practices we've been taught in the past where, remember in portraits and whatever else, where we'd ask people to link to our website or our Facebook page or our Instagram account or whatever else. And so we can't require that anymore, because here's the thing. If they're going to use your images to run a Facebook ad and they have to credit you on that ad, they're basically paying to promote your business. And on top of that, um, on top of that, they lose the effectiveness of their ad. Like, our goal is to help get them better results. And if they have to credit us and somebody clicks away, they're getting worse results on their ad overall. Plus, links cause ads to be more expensive. So that's one example. But also, you have to remember that if they have a big audience and they're an influencer in their space, they might actually get paid for endorsing other products and other services. And so they might be, by requiring them to credit us, we're asking for some of their endorsements, which really brings a lot more value than, depending on the size of their audience, than they may be willing to give, because they normally, like, if you look at Jenna Kutcher, she has a media kit on her website. If you go to jennakutcher.com, I think it's in the menu. You can usually find her media kit. She charges thousands of dollars for a single Instagram post, or podcast ad. So to ask them to credit us every time they use one of our photos or require them to do that is really asking them for a lot of value that really might not, it's going to leave a bad taste in their mouth and it's going to turn people away. So we don't want to be requiring it. So if you didn't know that, that's part of the reasons why. Our goal, remember, as personal brand photographers, is to help them grow their businesses, not for us. Now, back to the original question, what if they want to credit us? Like, how should they do it? What's the best way to do that? So this is something that I actually outline in the contract that I have that I sell to photographers. So if you don't have a personal brand photography contract, you can get that at personalbrandcontract.com. If somebody could type that out so people can just click on it and go straight there, that would be really awesome. But what I do basically is I have a section in there that tells them, hey, if you want to credit me, here's the different ways I'd like to be credited. So they know, should they be linking to Instagram, my Instagram account or my Facebook page or my website, it details that so there's never any question. Generally, my rule of thumb is that I like to have people, thank you, Tracy Reed, you're amazing. I like to have them credit me on the same platform, like in the same way. Okay, let me restart that. I like to have them credit me in a way that's consistent with the platform they're using. So if they are posting a photo on Instagram and they don't mind tagging me in it, I'll ask them on Instagram to specifically tag my Instagram handle. If they're doing it on Facebook, I would send them to my Facebook page or maybe my website landing page if that's what I prefer for them to go to. If they are crediting on a website, I would just have them give you a link to your website. So think about who's going to see it and what's going to, like, where would it make the most sense for them to go? So with Instagram, for example, it makes total sense to keep them on Instagram because they're seeing it there. You know they're already an Instagram user and like the platform. And so to have them go straight to your account is a really seamless and fluid way to credit you. That's not going to take them into some browser. Like if you put a Facebook link on Instagram and it opens up in the Instagram browser, they're not going to be logged in. It's not going to take them directly to the Facebook app necessarily. And so it's going to be a terrible user experience. So that's why I like to do that. As far as like, if they like redo a full website and they really want to give you credit for the images, they could put a link in the footer. They could put it in I wouldn't have them do it in the metadata necessarily because like the alt tags or things, because that's not really clickable. That's not going to be able to get them to go straight from your image to their website, right? Unless they want to put a link like over the image or something. But I would say in the footer is a nice place, or if they have, some sort of information page, an about page, whatever, maybe at the bottom of the about page, it could say people who've helped with this website. It really depends on what they want to do. I would let them do whatever they want to do, honestly, because any credit is really a bonus to you. But I do recommend that they keep it on the same kind of platform. So if it's on the web, I'd probably send them to a website or maybe a social media account if you really feel like you have a better presence there. On Instagram, stay on Instagram. On Facebook, stay on Facebook. Facebook, you can take them out to a website too. It's usually not quite as bad. But that's what I think is best. So let me see what we have in terms of questions here. Oh, Fabiana, you're sweet. She says, get it. She's talking about the contract. It's everything you need. Yeah, I did work with an intellectual property lawyer to write up a contract that's specific to personal brand photographers and photography because it's got things like this that are different from portraits and it's different from traditional commercial work a little bit. So, Fabiana says, I ask if I can share a post where they've used one of my images. That gives me a way to brag, but also to brag about their biz. I love that. That's a really great way to have a win-win, to get some exposure and not. So, all right. So thanks so much for tuning in today. Again, if you aren't yet part of our free group, definitely come join us, personalbrandcommunity.com. It'll take you right to our Facebook group. And I will be back next Monday to answer another question. But in the meantime, pop them in the free group. I hope to see you there. And Tracy Reed, get back to your accounting class. I see you're skipping out, you little stinker. So, all right. And Sheena says, my clients credit me, Many of them do. In fact, I just used one of my images from Claire this morning, and I put a little credit line to her as well. It's just that we don't require them to credit us. So, but many of them will, and that's awesome. It's super, super awesome. So, all right, thanks for hopping in here today. I will see you next Monday at noon. In the meantime, I'll be in our free group. Would love to hear if your state is opening up right now or not, or your location. There's several states in the US that are opening up to let you do outdoor shoots. We have a whole little list there going to see. So go pop in there and let me know if your location is opening up to photographers yet. I'm hoping that many of you can be shooting again soon. Oh, Sheena, thank you. She says, you are my sunshine, Jamie. I needed to hear that. Honestly, I'm having kind of a rough, anxious day. And so I appreciate that. But, I'll get through it. It is what it is. And hopefully by next week, I'll have some rainbows back. We're going to do a home experiment. It might be a huge disaster, but we'll see. So you guys can look forward to that. But you have a great week. I'll see you next Monday, but join the free group if you aren't there yet. Let's go chatter there. So have a great day. Bye-bye, my friends.